Would you please calculate the following? What's the 20th term of the sequence where the nth term of the sequence is given by 2n minus 7? And then what's the 6th term of the sequence which starts out 3, 6, 12, 24 and keeps going after that? All right, so pause the video and try that now, please. Okay, solutions. The first answer is 33. The answer to the second question is 96. Discussion. Sequences are ordered sets of numbers. All right. Often you'll be given a function that will give you the any and every term in the sequence. All right. For example, let's say the function was f of x. If you wanted the 30th term, you would evaluate f of 30. If you wanted the 4th term, you'd evaluate f of 4. All right. See how that works? Now, you're not always given that function. What if you wanted to know, let's say, the 100th term and you didn't have that function? All right, you've got to find the function. All right. Now, let me give you two common patterns that'll help you to find the functions that will generate the terms of sequences. All right. Often, the next term in the sequence is generated by adding or subtracting the same number from the last term. Okay? For example, in that first sequence, every term, if you were to write out the terms of the first sequence, you'd notice that a term and its neighbor, preceding neighbor, they always have the same difference. Okay? Sometimes to get the next term, you multiply or divide by the same constant. All right. The second sequence, you'll notice if you were to write out all the terms that you have to multiply by the same number to get the next term. Okay. If to generate terms you keep adding or subtracting the same number, it's called an arithmetic sequence. If you keep multiplying or dividing by the same number, it's called a geometric sequence. All right. Please get good at generating the functions, at least for arithmetic and geometric sequences. Okay? Do lots of practice problems until you're confident of that. All right? Next topic. U is 7 when V is 9. What is U when V is 63 if U and V are directly proportional? And then second question, X is 10 when Y is 12. What is x when y is 15 if x and y are inversely proportional? All right, pause the video and try those now, please. Okay, answers. The answer to the first question is 49. The answer to the second question is 8. Discussion. In order to solve these, you simply have to memorize two definitions. Okay, if A is directly proportional to B, then that means that A is equal to some constant times B. If A is inversely proportional to B, then A is equal to some constant divided by B. All right? Using that definition, you should be able to set up some algebra equations to solve the questions on the last slide. All right? Make sure you know how to do that. Next topic. What two numbers have a sum that is 63 and a difference that is 5? And then a rectangle has a width that is 1/3 of the length. What are the dimensions if the perimeter is 96 feet? Pause the video and try those now, please. Solutions now. Here we go. The two numbers for the first question, 34 and 29. The dimensions of the rectangle for the second question, 36 feet by 12 feet. All right, discussion. The topic here is word problems. Now, what is annoying about word problems is you have this extra step before you start doing algebra where you have to translate a lot of words into algebra equations. All right. Get lots of practice converting word problems to algebra equations to get the hang of it. Okay, not every word problem is going to be the same. You just have to do a lot of them until you get the knack for it. Okay, every word can be important in a word problem. All right, you need to reread the question slowly multiple times make sure that you're answering the right question. Okay? Some guidelines. If you see the word is, that often can be translated as equals. If you see the word what, that often can be translated to mean that there's a variable coming up. Okay? If you see the word of, that often implies multiplication. All right? Now, how long does it take a car driving at 60 miles per hour to travel 300 miles? Okay? And then a company acquired $150,000 in revenues and made a $100,000 profit. How much were their expenses? The people that run the company. And then how much will a savings account containing $200 be worth after 2 years if it collects 6% interest every year? Try those now, please. Okay, answers. The answer to the first question is 5 hours. The answer to the second question is $50,000. And the answer to the last question is $224.72. Discussion. What I wanted to do is I want to end the algebra portion of the SAT math prep videos by just exposing you to 3 common applications. All right. So if you see a word problem that that pertains to these topics, you will have seen it, and you'll be maybe a little bit more comfortable. All right. Velocity is always equal to the distance traveled divided by the time it took you to travel that distance. And then a little economics fact. The profit is equal to the revenue generated minus the expenses you had to pay to get that revenue. Okay? And then regarding savings and investments, if you have a certain balance and you made a certain interest rate, then the interest income is the product of the balance and the interest rate. All right? Likewise, if you leave the money in your savings or your investment, okay, and you reinvest that interest income, you can calculate the new balance from the old balance. And the way you do that is you multiply the old balance times 1 plus the interest rate. Okay, the new balance, of course, is equal to the old balance plus the interest income. Okay.